While we are, hopefully now this is, yay. Says we're live now. So I've been over here just weaving a beautiful path of harmony. Namaste, Akasha here, Nana Akasha. So honored to be with you here today in this sacred space. Hi, Jill. Lisa, wow, I miss you, Lisa. I'm used to seeing you so often. And welcome, and hi, Tiffany. I knew there was someone else who was here. So please say hi and make sure you're subscribed and you have the notifications clicked, because what I do is go through the flow. So these are scheduled, and as some of you notice, sometimes they get rescheduled, and then something wants to talk and that's going to come out. There's a lot of that happening right now. So I've been clearing our space with some Palo Santo, and you can enter this. Please enter as if you are in a sacred temple. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. And this is our altar. And hopefully you have lots of altars in your house. I do. And I want to show you something that I did. So I am coming to England. I'm so excited, and I hope you'll join me. Jill, you should come in October. And we're going to do some of the most, all the retreats I do are incredible, because my goal is to connect us to the energies in the sacred place and do our sacred way and come in a sacred way, all that sacred stuff, each person entering with their own. Wow, it's changing so much. I was going to say with your own purpose and your plan and your blueprint, and then they're just showing me everything shifting so quickly now, as we know. So thank you for entering the sacred space. As I make my way to Avalon, I call it, to Glastonbury in the south of England. I'm going to be in Stonehenge for the equinox with the Druids and the pagans, and really excited about that unique experience at dawn. And I'm going to be going to Avebury and a lot of other sacred sites around there. And if you don't know anything about them, it's fine. They're stone circles. And these stone circles are so much more than what they appear. Same as a pyramid. You know, if you go to Egypt or here in the Mayan land, it's spectacular to go to a pyramid, or to go to Greece, or to go to places with temples. And we know they're sacred space. We can tell, we can feel. Now we can see, we can actually, not just when you work with me, you start seeing energies, okay, perceiving them, increasing your intuitive skills, and definitely seeing them. When you come on the retreats, very frequently, people will open their eyes at a sacred site after we've done an activation, and they'll be seeing the energies, they'll be seeing the glowing energy around things, or coming from something, or fairies or stones, or the crystals start changing. So we work together with the earth, or earth magic, and we work together with the celestials, because it's all part of the same thing. And we are part of that. And we're uncovering history and ancient wisdom to marry it with what we are, to create a new reality. And there's above, below, and within, and we're the within. And in the sense of below, there is that Gaia energy of the ancient structures, the ancient rivers, the ancient crystal beds, the ancient stone circles, the ancient temples, the ancient pyramids, vortexes, caves, all kinds of things are sacred places. They carry literally vibrating, spinning currents, ley lines, dragon lines, spinning geospirals. They pulse energy depending what you do to them. So I'm going to a new depth, which is just beyond exciting to me, in the frequency, energy, vibrational frequency training that I've had through the years in the different schools and I've been through. And the frequency training now is coming to where everybody goes, oh, I don't really feel, or oh, I don't really see, right? Or they see more than I do. And this is surrendering to you in your own unique way of being. So there's something about the idea of just going to Avalon, which, if you're familiar with the concept or the book or the movie of The Mists of Avalon, It represents the veil, what we call the veil. So a lot of you, if you're here, we may say the veil. The veil is thin at Samhain, which is Halloween, Day of the Dead, right? The veil is thin during certain times when certain planets are here, or all this amazing cosmic energies that we've been gifted with. So going to Avalon is a personal inner journey. It is literally a mystical quest for the truth of who you are. And whether you relate to that, Knights of the Round Table and the quest for the Holy Grail from any aspect, right? Many people nowadays relate to it more from the Magdalene story. And there's a lot of Magdalene energy here as well. There's a Holy Grail energy, and there's the sacred goddess energy. Then there's the druidic and the really ancient energies of those that understood the earth so well that they made these stone circles aligned with unbelievable energy currents, and then connected them, and then knew how to open portals and time portals into them, and then took the energy and used the round circle to centrifuge those energies, and then either shoot them back up and travel or receive or whatever they want to do, like a stargate, like a portal. That's what all these are: stargates, energy places, and places for ascension and expanded experiences. But they built avenues that went out along the ley lines and connected the different sites, and they could actually take the energy and they could spin it and increase it and amplify it, and then shoot it out and send it down that avenue from Avebury to Stonehenge, or from here to there, or from there to another place, or to another place in the earth. There's a place called the Sanctuary, which is really powerful, and there's actually very little left to see as far as standing stones, and yet it's one of the most powerful places, because when you start to understand the currents within the earth, the energies of why they built these earth acupuncture, these things to move them, and then everyone since then, even us, have used these same sacred places again and again, whether our culture was different, whether our story was different, whether our perspective or the clothing we put on it was different. And so the sacred energies are still there. And now they're calling us once again, like a whole new wave. And we can look at the lore and the myth. We can look at the stories. And it's interesting because when you say myth, originally I thought that means it has no basis in physical reality, but this isn't true. You just travel a little bit. I was in Greece last year, and it was like, this is the mythical city of blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, mythical, but I'm standing in it. Okay. And it has a whole history, and here's a museum with the gold masks, and this and that, and so on and so on. So, it's up to you to decide whether you feel like they were bringing the gods down, in Sumeria and Babylonia and ancient Greece and Turkey and Italy and Rome and in England and UK and in the Mayan land and in Peru and Native America and all across the planet. Everyone understood earth energies. So we are connecting to become one. This is a time of unity. The fun part is you keep going into the concept of unity. Well, that means that I could become one with who? With the parts of myself I've denied. One with my true mission, of which my purpose is always different in the moment. If you look at your life, it tells a story, and it will speak to you when you read the energy of it, and it will undulate like a serpent or a dragon. And that is the way of the sacred energy. But then the way of the goddess, the way of the divine feminine, that they both feminine and masculine have been out of balance. So we work on or connect to or dissolve the construct around the aggressive, overbearing masculine. And we rejuvenate the divine feminine. And if you're familiar, everybody's seen Celtic symbols, they're spirals, and then maybe they're spirals connected to another spiral within another spiral around another spiral. And these are incredibly profound sacred geometry. They're pretty. And if you wear them like I did the other day, or you have them around you, some people have them. This is a necklace I have back here that I put onto my Janissa crystal of the triquetra. Actually, it's the other one, the Triskeli. And these were the Celtic version of many, many different things. Every culture had their own symbols to represent the energies that moved through you in a particular part of you, like the Egyptian eye telling you you have the all-seeing eye inside of you. You connect all these pieces, and now there's an energy flow grid happening. Oh, you go to this place and you sit on the top of this pyramid. It's amplifying all the energies. Now you're bathed in that energy. It's activating. It's taking you to new realms. It's activating new powers. It's bringing new intuition to you, visions, new, even if you only have the visions there, or you only are able to have that overlay to your physical body to see energies or see fairies or see glowing beings from Atlantis or other realms, or a lot of the gods, goddesses, energies, sacred spirit guides, the animal guides, they appear at our activations in these retreats. So this is very profound because I've been doing retreats like this for a long time and going on them for 25 years, I think. It was the first time I went to Egypt. And we go in a sacred way because you're called, because you're soul. So all this series I'm doing, which is going to be it's so fun, is that we keep gathering in circle because you feel called to your mission. You feel called to seek your truth. You feel called to have a ritual with the divine. I love this. Divination is not a word I used a lot, although I learned many, many forms of divination, as you have. Do you read the weather patterns? Do you listen to your knee if it hurts and know it's going to rain? Do you use oracle cards? Okay. Do you do muscle testing or pendulum? Meteorology is a kind of a divination. We're predicting the weather in the future, right? And all it means is reading the signs of destiny, reading the signs and the synchronicities that are existing already around us. And we are in a body as a divine being with a purpose. That purpose is multifaceted. So when we go, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? I found my purpose. Now I'm going to do my purpose, do my purpose, do my purpose. And then maybe some of you have done this because this is the generation, this is the era when we break that idea that you find one job and that's what you do your whole life. I literally have, my family has said to me so many times, you're changing what you're doing. And yes, because I didn't know how to say it before, and I didn't own it, and I didn't live in it, and I didn't exist in a space where I knew that my purpose, my path, the design within my body was more important than anything else that I had been told or taught. It was not my job to live someone else's truth, someone else's destiny, someone else's life. And that is a very strongly embedded feature that we are coming out of. Many of you maybe were raised in a family where your family wanted you, my microphone keeps pulling this, wanted you to become a doctor, wanted you to become whatever, wanted you to go into the family business, wanted you to do a certain thing because it was respectable, because they knew you'd be safe or successful, because it was responsible. And maybe it wasn't what you wanted to do. It wasn't your path, your purpose, your life. It didn't fill you up with joy. It didn't lead you into adventurous wonder. It didn't have that taste of the mystic, the taste of the magic. It didn't lead you through the mists into anything new. Well, the purpose to be in a body is to be in the body and to enjoy the body. And we are afraid to be in the body because of all the craziness we've experienced. All the craziness, all the abuse, all the fear, all the pain, all the loss, all the death, all of it. You have a memory of it. Whether you believe it history or you want to call it past lives, whatever you want to call it, it is inside of you. We are one. We are coming back to unity. What happens when you shift and release yourself from a fear and no longer overgiving, or when you decide to pick up your own sword of truth and decide that it is now the time that you will follow your own inner authority, that you will be the authority, that there is no such thing as an authority outside of you. This is the time. When and how you decide, how it comes to you, how it unfolds is completely personal. There is no right way. There is no right job. There is no right path. Only what is optimal for you inside of this moment and each and every moment from this point on. Because what happens when you are given some wisdom, some knowledge of your purpose or a power? What happens when you free yourself from a fear that most other people have, and you no longer go get jobs everybody else thinks they're safe, even if they don't like it, and you follow your own path? you have your own business, and I'm not saying you have to, just as an example, even though it's not easy. There's no consistent paycheck. The buck stops with you. You have to decide everything. You have to figure it all out. You have to implement it. You have to follow up on it. It's your fault or not your fault, whatever way your patterns are pointing at you. But it is one of the most powerful paths of spiritual growth. There's plenty of them. Whatever path you've been on is a spiritual path, whether you knew it or not, doesn't matter. And it was perfect. So now, when we decide to pick up that sword of truth, that Excalibur, when we decide that the Lady of the Lake, the goddess, the divine feminine, that we can only conjure, we can only call to us, that we are ready for her to come, when we are ready to step through the mists. What does that mean? There's a lot of other cultures who have different ways of explaining it, but she wants you to purify your heart. She wants you to lighten your heart. Well, in Egypt, they had a divine heart weighing ceremony. I'm very blessed to have been through it 2 or 3 times in this life, and in many other ancient lives of mystery schools there. What the concept is that at the end of your life in this body, your spirit is moving and it is going to go to some new body somewhere. In order to do that, you want to go say, oh, okay, let's see, let's take a look at this life now that I'm not inside of it and I'm not feeling the drama and I'm not experiencing all of it, and see what I planned and what I did. And there's going to be a gap, but right now we're being offered a moment when we can walk through that. We can see our soul blueprint. We can reconnect. We can go on a quest to find our soul. And it isn't the soul of the ego. Oh, I need this $1 million. I need this perfect thing. I need that. I need this to happen now. The powerful divine woman, the divine magician, like alchemist, like Merlin, is the person who stands in their own power and their pain. Merlin had great pain in his life. He did not have a perfect life. He did not appear a magical shining being everybody respected, learned from, and then went off into the sunset happy. This is another hero's journey. It's like the Greek hero's journeys. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of betrayal. There's a lot of these interesting weaving energies. This is what we came here to unravel. And the Lady of the Lake is the manifestation of, in me, I do a lot of water magic. I work with water just nonstop 20 times a day. I was swimming for an hour in the ocean yesterday, and I lay in it. It was very calm, and I was all alone, and it was perfectly clear. And so I'd lay on my noodles, and I would sit and swim, and I would float and meditate, and I'd look out at the horizon, and I speak and ask permission to the water and the land and the sky and the clouds. And I download gold rays from the sun. And I'm aware that I'm being held inside of Gaia, inside of her body and inside of some of her fluids of her body. I'm floating in a bowl made out of earth and water made from earth. And the idea that the Lady of the Lake comes from the mists. Avalon is the place the goddess is, those who were called to be priestesses or to work and live in the sanctuary of the goddess. And in this culture, they just called it the goddess. There were different names for the goddess. There's many Celtic goddesses that we work with, Brigid, and there's, of course, Morgane Le Fay. And the Lady of the Lake is usually related to Vivienne or Nimue. And Vivienne is the supreme high priestess, we might say now, of Avalon, who trained and called those women who were called to that path. And then only those people could pass through the mists into Avalon. And only those people could step onto that sacred land. And only those people could learn the mysteries of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And Merlin would come and Merlin would teach and Merlin would learn. and the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine would work together and tried to keep the world from going into darkness that we experienced. So a lot of that aspect of the story was about the time when we fell into darkness. We separated from that belief, that knowing that the goddess, that the divine within everything exists, and within us it exists. So today we're going to pick up our sword of truth, and the Lady of the Lake has called. The retreat that I've planned is blowing my mind every day. I'm almost 24/7 immersed in about 4 different dimensions, walking there, walking in the past. If I'm talking with the Lady of the Lake, who didn't come up right away, which was interesting. There were other aspects of the land. I started speaking to the wells and so on, and I'll share more of that with you. And the other day we talked with Merlin, so be sure you check out that audio or video. And what happens is that they reveal themselves to you in the perfect timing. So I want you to take everything that you've learned as you enter this sacred space. Hi, Cheryl. She's so excited. We go to Avebury, and it's going to be a rare lunar alignment, and we're going to be sitting right in the divine feminine place spot that this divine, wonderful goddess I've met, Maria, is going to show us. She's one of the few people who've been there 18.6 years ago. So we're going to be entering one of the most sacred, divine, feminine places when we go there in person, and we're going there today. So I've been going there over and over. I've been reading, writing, dreaming, talking, traveling, going back in time, weaving together the different places, the different cultures, and the Lady of the Lake representing the goddess that says, when you're ready, I'm here to open the doors for you. When you're ready, I will part the mists, and I will show you how to part the mists so that you become the master of your own reality, that you become the one that stays in your truth. Let your words be the magic. Hold the space of pure, centered, divine connection to all these incredible earth energies and solar energies and lunar energies and everything, and be in the body for the whole purpose of getting to experience those, being the channel with those, and then getting to create with those. She is the representation of the divine feminine part of you that is ready to be rediscovered, reconnected, and she is ready to rise in this way with the mists. The mists are water. Water holds codes, ancient mysteries. We know from Dr. Emoto, water holds anything you code it with, love or hate, beauty or healing. Water is in the Celtic world. I do a lot of Celtic water magic, I guess it's called. I've learned recently it's called. Is you're working with the spirit of the water and the place that holds the water and the type of water that it is. Is it yin water, as Maria calls it, which I'm totally adopting this word? Or is it yang water? Yang water is the rain, and it's what we drink for that solar energy. Yin water is produced by Gaia within her womb. It's the inner channels and rivers and places and inner lake and all those places. And this is where I believe Avalon comes from. There's no water around that right now. But they know, even the scientists say, yes, there used to be water here. There used to be water right next to the pyramid in Egypt too, okay? So things change, right? So there was water, and the Tor, they call it now, with the Tower of Michael, was the Avalon of the goddesses, and still is, because everything exists in a different time and dimension. When you go through the mists and you learn the magic of how to trespass, and I learned this word, and it's supposed to be bad, but it's not. Trespass means that you are going over that threshold that you have been told you could not trespass. Why? Who told you that? How profound is that? I want to cry right now. I feel this in my gut right now, that not just as women, but as a culture, we've been told that the divine feminine is bad and it's evil and it's a witch and it's a sorceress and it's an enchantress and it's a siren and it causes the men to come over. Ooh, look at me, I'm pretty, now you die. All these male concepts, which are not a part of what is in the divine feminine energies. It is not a part of what is in the sacred masculine energies either. Trespass. I'm giving you permission. Permission was a big thing yesterday in our mastermind. I give you permission now to trespass all the barriers and boundaries that have been drawn around you. They've been drawn with magical symbols. They've been drawn with power. They've been drawn. Whether you call someone in government with a pen signing a decree that you cannot, that someone owns you and you don't own yourself. That sounds to me like magic. That sounds to me like what they say that a spell is used by an evil enchantress. Okay, a spell is using your words. You can use your words. You can use your intent. You can use your powers, whether you know what they are or not, to harm or to heal. Are you helping people when you pass laws that hurt people, that bind people, that turn people into slaves? Are you helping people and freeing people with your form of magic? By saying that our form of magic, our natural affinity to the earth, to these sacred places, to go there with a candle, to talk to the incense, to speak with the fairies, to be healed by the waters. I have a friend who does ceremonies for us, cacao ceremonies in a specific cave, and it's built like a womb. It's circular, it's small, it's filled with water. You can just touch the bottom. It's filled with bats. It has a circular oculus on the top that comes in with sun. If you stand right under that point, there's a rock you can stand on and be bathed. You're in the center and you're in the womb, and we do the ceremonies going in. And she literally healed herself of extremely serious feminine issues brought on by a broken heart, and all of those things around love and trust and betrayal of giving your powers to someone else who then turned around and told you they were evil and then turned on you, and that feeling of trusting someone to enter you, sexually, to enter you and own you, to be a part of your life and to be intimate with you in any aspect, and then feel betrayed by it. We are bringing these forward now because those aren't truth. Those are toxins and those are poisons. And I'm going to do more series around the women who in history who've been demonized and turned into monsters, and we're not. It's a perspective that we've been imbued with. So we must realize that we have a part of us that hates ourselves. We have a part of us that believes that our own truth will hurt people, that it's evil, that we have to watch out and we have to listen to everybody else's authority or we'll somehow turn bad. Maybe you will go into the woods and you'll pick some herbs and you'll sit in a certain spot and you'll pick up a flower and a butterfly will come by and you'll feel a ray of sunshine come down on you and peace will come over you. And all the grief that you feel of your daughter dying will begin to be drawn out of you by the moss that you're sitting on and by the rocks around you. And suddenly you know that you're not alone, and you know that the earth is alive, and you know that there's nothing that you can't do because you came here with a reason and a purpose, a truth that's so much bigger than any of the pain that you felt. I know, and you know too. We're healing our ancestors and our lineages from this body and all other bodies that we have lived in. Any body that you've been in on this planet is still here. The DNA in its physical form is still here. You are breathing the air that you breathed as an ancient goddess in Avalon or Greece or in the Mayan pyramids. And you are breathing the air and swimming in the waters that were here when you were in Atlantis or Lemuria or some form of wisdom keeper in Peru with the Inca. You start to look at the stone circles and the structures and the sacred geometry and people creating these. They're all over the planet. And the more you look at them and understand what they're doing, their batteries, their microchips, they're creating you're inside of your computer on the top of the planet so that they can harness energies. They knew at a certain time, a certain alignment, a full moon, an eclipse, an equinox, whatever, there was amplified energies. They harnessed radiations that came from these spots, that came from certain stones or certain spots at certain times. You know how to do that in your body. If you listened within and picked up your sword of truth, you would know what is best to heal you right now, and you would stop listening to the I have tos and the shoulds and the fears and the pains, and you would sit with them because you've been through so much pain. We all have. This life is nothing compared to the pains that you've suffered in your other lives. You're a hero too. Merlin and the Lady of the Lake, Vivienne, they're tragic stories. They're Greek tragedies in a way. They hold the archetype to show us the battle we're in, the journey we're on, and we can choose to see it differently. They're passing that baton on to us, and it truly is time for us to realize that we're picking up a sword much bigger than anything we've ever experienced. This is not something that you can put down again and walk away from. And many of you know that when you do deeper work with me, we go so deep and we stay in real time. We let it unfold. We don't try to force an outcome, and we realize when we are attached to an outcome, I did this, why didn't that happen? I did this, when is that going to happen? Is distracting you from this voice. You cannot pick up your sword of truth, which is your throat, your power, your heart. It is the connection from above and below that you can step within, that you are pulsed internally with divine energies, whether they're from waters or air, breath or fairies, crystals or dragons. We have the dragons this year. We have so many energies this year, and it's very important to realize this year is giving us opportunities and energies and growth. So we're going to need it to go where the Lady of the Lake wants to take us today. And I'm already tearing up, and I'm very, very honored that you're here and that you're interested in these things. Woohoo! Susan's coming. Yeah. Your ancestors were Celtic, so were mine. I'm Irish, Scottish, and German. And and we are and I've always been drawn to it. I lived in England actually for 5 years and then another 6 months, and other times, so probably close to 6 years on and off. Loved every minute of it, and I called it my home because I moved there when I went to high school, which is really when you birth into your independence. And in London, I could go anywhere I wanted on my own, and I could go to a pub and drink when I was 14. So I was legal. I wasn't living in a country where I had to ask my parents to take me somewhere. And I took full use of that. I'd travel around the countryside, go to these places, and I didn't really understand that. And then I went back, and I've been through so many things, where 16 years where I was in the goddess world, and not all, we studied all cultures of goddesses. The primary one that I came back to over and over was the Celtic. And I shared this the other day in case you weren't here to see my beautiful knife that I just happened to find. I haven't seen this thing in, I don't know, decade or two. And this is when I was in my goddess times. You have to have one. It's a real knife, very nice one. And it's for taking into the woods to bring your herbs and your berries and bless things. And it's a wand, like an intention, and it has the intertwining. You see, what the Celts understood, what these ancient cultures understood, is all of the different sacred shapes or flows. That's the caduceus again, like the Greeks. That's the DNA. That's weaving together the unity that we are in. Hi, Stacy. Oh my gosh. Hi, Genevieve. How wonderful to see you. All right, Susan, Jill, and Cheryl, and Stacy, and B Lighter, and Jill, and Lisa, and Tiffany. All right, wonderful. So let's go. I'm going to get a sip here while I share my screen. Okay, good. So I'm going to quickly share the page. It's nanakasha.com/Avalon. Actually, I could give that to you. And please do me a favor and reach out. There is a place on the page where you can make an appointment with me where we can chat. If you feel called to this, there's a reason, and then we can explore it. So don't go in and be afraid like, I don't want you there. No offense. If it's not optimal for you, because then it's not optimal for any of us. So this is a soul quest. This is literally what I said earlier. What the first title that came through, and I keep going back to change it now that more of these energies are coming through, more ideas have come through, and the shape has been taken of what we're going to do this time is, and I keep getting no, just leave it. So this is the Mysteries of Ancient Avalon and the Sacred Feminine Magic Retreat. So I'm going to teach you divination, which, by the way, if you look up, I just suggest you go look up the definition, the technical definition in English of divination. It means a search for truth. It means a ritual for the divine. And I said, okay, I give. I'm now going to accept that that is what I do in 10,000 ways, whether it was learning homeopathy and analysis through homeopathy, hypnosis, or how to do ritual, or how to call the directions, or how to pendulum, or how to do oracle cards, or how to talk to fairies, whatever form of divination. It is a seeking the truth for you. And doing a ritual means that you're sacredly doing that for the divine. Okay, that just kind of says it all. So this is an immersive, divine, mystical soul quest. And I really say that because you are on your own path and you will be with us. And it is going to be magic from beginning to end. So I'm continuing to give a little more information. We're putting together a logistics, a sheet that you're more than happy to ask for, that we will give you. And I just want you to know that the idea of entering a sacred space like we are in these calls, and then taking it there, okay, and doing it in the 3D, you're uniting above and below, within and without. You're acknowledging that you're a multidimensional being, and you're taking it a little bit deeper. Now, you can take what we do today, what we do on all these series I'm going to do with you. This is powerful magic, okay? Really powerful energy work, powerful activations, powerful soul reconnection, powerful whatever language you like, okay? The dragon said, well, a lot of people like dragons, and we are a part of this land, so don't forget us. We won't. We will be working with the dragons. We're going to be working with them in the intuition camp this summer. So this is what I want you to embody is this beautiful woman here that we created. This is artwork by my beautiful Christopher. And then Donna and I began to put the magic in it. The spheres of light, they're called Akashic Ascension spheres we work with, and manifesting and awakening the crown and becoming this divine goddess of wealth and flowing, and recognizing you make your own waters within, and that you have that divinity within you, and you have sacred ancient codes in your waters too. Okay. Divine dragon dowsing lessons, Celtic magic wand making, oh my gosh, the springs, private access to everything, to the both wells. And we're going to be at the goddess temple a couple of times doing sound healing with the priestesses. We're going to be making wand in all the sacred places, as well as the goddess festival, home. There's different places. And then we're going to be learning dowsing all in these sacred places, and with someone who knows the sacred spots to go to and the lore. And she's a druid, and she's becoming a true soul sister to me at this point. We are so geeking out over our love for energies and earth energies. And then she will meet us again at the rare lunar alignment for the full moon, when we go to Avebury for the part 3, which is additional. Now, from end to end, it's 10 days, so just come to the whole thing. But if you really can't, then this is offered to you in this way. Here's some of the wands we're going to make. Okay, so there's Merlin. And we're going to now, I think I have to go back and share again. Okay, here we go. She's so beautiful. All right, my loves. So let's tune in here. Thank you for joining me. Of course, please join my my email list. It's much easier to stay in touch with you over there. Let me stop this thing here. All right, so this is another beautiful artwork by Christopher. I gave him the Lady of the Lake a while back, and he didn't really understand, so he was just getting some different interesting things that were nice, but not really what I wanted. And eventually, through a beautiful back and forth, we got the mists and the light, we got the fairies, and our that you can't really tell here. There's an infinity symbol, and there is the magic of this idea that the mists are a portal. Okay, so everything's a portal. The temples are a portal. Okay, when we go to the Tor, it's a portal. When we go to the Abbey, it's a portal. When you go into the well, it's a portal. When we go into the sacred white well, where you can bathe, and we're gonna have they have altars, and it's pure, beautiful energies. These are the mists that you immerse yourself in. So remember, we're talking to water now, and the Lady of the Lake is going to ask a few questions of you, and then we will go deeper. All right. So you just take a moment to tune into these energies and to acknowledge that you have entered the sacred space, ready and willing and open and receptive to be a clear and open channel to your own truth. And that you are here in the sacred temple of the mists of Avalon. And this is the temple that is on the shores. When you come to the waters and you seek Avalon, when you come to the shores and you seek that which is your own divine truth, you wish to follow your path, you wish to agree once again to commit to your inner powers, to ride the ups and downs, to allow the sacred dragon to ride with you. You know that all the elementals and all the magic that could possibly be conjured are here ready and waiting for you. And the Lady of the Lake has called you here. She has risen from the goddess, from the divine feminine, through time and space, and manifested of light and silver, of the silver goddess ray. The silver goddess ray. This ray brings with it the acceptance of self. So now, as you're tuning into this place and this space, begin to allow yourself to step into your divine mystical soul quest. Merlin is already here. He has welcomed you to this sacred temple. This is the Akashic Temple. It is the sphere of the flower of life. And it is here on the shores of Avalon. The mists are thick in front of you. The waters are gentle, lapping the shore. And you have entered this sacred space because it is time for you to go on a divine mystical quest to find what it is. What is your grail? What is the chalice that holds your truth? What is it you are here to become, birth, to midwife, to create, and to gift? The Lady of the Lake is a very sacred feminine guide of great powers and mysteries, and she is the gatekeeper of Avalon, the Otherworld, the land of the goddess, a realm that is parallel to ours, that exists without us, that we have entered before. She calls you now to live your truth and honor your soul purpose. She once asked King Arthur, as you know, when she empowered him to step into his own journey, into his promise, to his path, which was not easy. To be the High King, to take up the sword of truth meant he must follow his destiny. He must rule Camelot despite the potential ending. Despite pain or loss that might happen, he must step onto that path. He must be anointed and empowered by the goddess. And he must agree to carry her in his heart, in his decisions, in his thoughts. Then, and only then, she gave him the power to rule. Then, and only then, did he embody the power to rule his own kingdom, to live his own story, to live out the destiny that still impacts us today. It was a decision to follow the soul's path. And now you have made a decision to follow your soul's path. No one else can follow it, only you. You cannot live another's purpose, and no one can live yours. If you feel immersed in this experience, please keep your eyes closed. And if you feel like looking at this new image, you can see the Lady of the Lake, the magic and the symbols, the mists, the glowing light of the other world. The passageway through is one of magic, deep magic. To know and understand this, to be able to part the mists and to enter, to be able to remember your wisdom. This is a remembering. This is you reconnecting. Requires you to become the light, to flow, to be seen in your truth and your beauty by you, and then by those who can see you when you are in your truth, because only those are the ones that are a part of your path. You do not need to fight. You do not need to judge. You do not need anything. Feel yourself becoming lighter. She is pouring now the silver ray into us, infusing our cells. She asked me this morning to tell you that you each have to stop living for the external and listen within. It is a path for the courageous heart. It is not an easy path, yet you chose it. You stepped up and said, I can, I will, I am. Do you stand in your truth or try to live the destiny others tell you to? Only the pure of heart and intent may gain entry to these sacred realms. Those are the realms within you, the realms that hold your truth and your power and your magic. The Lady of the Lake is here to help you cleanse your heart of the fear and the pain of the past, of the opinion of others, and of the false beliefs you carry about your power, whether you can handle it, whether you have it, whether you're worthy of it, whether you will misuse it. She says now, yes, you have seen much misuse of power, and yet the power you have seen misused was misused very easily, and you continue to see it, and you can do it too, you know. Why do you know? Because in this very moment, you have the truth in your belly, you have the truth. It's tickling your heart softly, very gently. That is the power of the masculine, unsacred, separated from truth, separated from heart, separated from mission, separated from promise, separated from soul. That is the part that is separated from the divine. And yet, yes, it is separated from the feminine. It is not only the sacred feminine that will heal the masculine. It is the desire within both to rise out, to no longer fear the misuse of power of others over, and to know and trust yourself that as you follow your truth, your path, your bliss, you will know that this is not the path of power over. There is no misuse. You disown that as you rise into your truth, and you cannot rise into your truth. I will not part the mists for you. You will not part the mists for yourself. You have many, many inner programs. You have many, many inner beliefs. Your inner beliefs are the truth. Your inner beliefs are the truth of what you live, because what the belief says is not true, but what it keeps you from is the truth. You have been given so many times structures that have held you down and within, and this is not the time to listen to them. You walk through walls as you walk through a mist. You walk through paradigms and thoughts. You walk through mindsets and families. You walk through. There's no out. You are on this quest. And I am here. The goddess is here. The goddess has never forsaken you. She has retracted deep within the earth. She has hidden in the caves, but she has stayed within the sacred womb of every life form. She has stayed within you, and she is waking up within you, and she is waking up in all lands. She is waking up in all temples. She is waking up in all sacred waters and all sacred groves within and around this divine being we call Earth. This is a time for you of great strength and bravery, because no one enters a quest believing it will be easy, complaining why it isn't done, why it was hard, why you had to repeat it, why there's another step, why can't it just be over? This is not the language of a quest. Know now that you are being welcomed, and together, Merlin and I stand around you. Will you allow us to cleanse your heart? Will you listen to the own beat of your heart over the loud noise of the world drama? Will you allow the magic to rise again within the womb, the mists and the waters, your own unique personal magic that no one else has, knows, or has ever been privy to? You are here to seek your truth. Declare, I am that I am, and I am here to seek my truth. I want to know who I am and why I am here. What is my purpose, my powers, my mission, my promise to my soul? The Lady of the Lake says, now, come forward to the edge of the waters. Look down on your feet. The tip of your toes touch the waters. If you wish for me to assist you, to be able to take the sword of your truth, to seek your truth and become the true channel. You are the divination tool. You are the divine. The ritual to the divine is to you. We honor you for being here. If you accept, you live your own destiny, There is no going back. I am the Lady of the Lake, and I only appear for those who are here asking to own their truth, their sword of power. I ask you now, look at your feet, feel the earth beneath them. See her energies spiraling up around you. Gaia is gifting you. The caves are sending you messages. The crystal, the herbs, the roots. It is all here for you. You are standing on it and in it. And they ask you now, what do you stand for? Go deeper, let go, close your eyes, relax your body. You are fully embodied here in this sacred place, toe to toe with the sacred waters of Avalon. I am here, ready and willing and open and receptive to be a clear and open channel to my highest good, to cleanse and clear my heart, my mind, to release that which I thought I was, to unbind myself from the curses and the agreements, from the magic that has held me bound. I rip the papers, I burn the agreements. I now throw all the cleansing herbs of the earth on a bonfire of truth, and I throw all that is not my truth into it. Stand now. If you stand in your truth, what do you stand for? Listen, hear it, and repeat it in your heart. The Lady of the Lake is now lowering an Akashic Ascension sphere, a glowing, spherical light made from the flower of life, slowly over and around you. It is silver and sparkling and pearlescent and flowing, and you feel its energies connecting the earth, drawing up a spiral around you, connecting the moon, drawing down another spiral above you, between, above, and below, the fires of the silver goddess Ray. They are forging your sword of truth. The more you surrender, the more you allow the molding, the metamorphosis, the transformation. A sword of truth, a wand of crystal clarity is not formed by one wish. It is not formed by one life. It is formed through pressure and time within Gaia to become the clearest, most gorgeous, etheric crystal, embodying light and wisdom and truth and time, and the ability to travel through all of it, to gather the energies needed in each moment and to create. The sword of truth is forged through fire, through the mallet of the blacksmith, through your struggles, your pain, your choices, your decisions, your scars, your strength, your courage. You rise into being willing. I am now receiving the inspiration. I am aligned with the intention. I am rising now. The above and the below merge. The spiral of silver light is moving down and moving up. You release into it. The Lady of the Lake calls you forward. You leave this physical, etheric, auric body in this temple of light, cleansing and clearing. You feel your heart opening. You are drawn forward. You begin to glow with silver light and move. You float over the waters. You feel your tiny toes, the tips of them, just touching the sacred waters, drawing a line. The waters begin to rise. The mist is becoming multiple shapes and colors. The water spirits are all around you. They rise into the mist. They surround you. You are in a circle of water spirits. They are spirals of light that come and go, that are small and big. They are showing you the pulse of the divine in the waters of your body. You receive through this beautiful water element. We send now the truth of how to transform the dense waters of your emotional pain, to raise the frequency, to begin that sacred spiral. Faster and faster, raising your frequency. Now you sense and feel all of the geospirals of the sacred waters within the planet, spinning and spiraling, matching your frequency. You rise again to a higher state, a state of misty lightness. You float now into the waters, deeper into the mists, across the waters. Only aware of the mist, and that you are the mist, and that you've transformed the dense to the light, into the mists. The mists feel safe and soft and protective. They are around us. They are within us. Now, the Lady of the Lake rises. She rises from the mists, from the waters, and comes towards you. She's not holding a sword, no. She's holding a sphere of light. The sphere of light becomes a bowl, becomes a chalice. It begins to change shape. It looks Egyptian and now Greek. Now it looks Neolithic. And now it looks as if it's from the court of Camelot. Now it dissolves into pure silver, a perfect goddess figure, an hourglass of divine silver, both sides above and below equally a chalice. She now comes very close to you and places it. Where does she place it? For each of you, it is unique. She asks you to drink. These are the waters of Avalon. These are part of your training, part of your transfiguration. You are learning to shapeshift and to become the conduit of truth, and to become the messenger of the divine. This is your gift today. Drink it. Receive this. This is a rare initiation that is gifted to you because you have entered in this moment, in this time. We welcome you. These secrets will now move through you like tiny spirals flowing in your blood, in your brain, in your spine, in your lymph, flowing in the currents of your nerves, flowing through the pathways of your light. The bodies that you have now been given the elixir of the silver Avalon ray. This holds secrets only those priestesses of Avalon knew. Vivienne and Morgane, Merlin. And those of you here, yes, you were there with us, and you will be there again. Yes, there is a sacred spiral connecting us through time and space, and it will again. Today we are complete. I ask you one more time to commit to your soul quest, to agree to taking your personal power and listening to your own inner authority. This is the time for you to become the mist, to go from dense to misty, to become one with the magical realms and feel your true strength. Connect to your hidden lifetimes of strength, to release the lifetimes of false beliefs, of your weakness and your lack of value. This is your first download. Merlin opened your throat and asked you to take the wand of your truth back into your voice. He will return for more. Continue to receive these downloads and this healing that align you. The full moon energies are always there. The mists are what you are becoming. Be in this path of the sacred mists. This is your step into this divine world of full empowerment, of wisdom and being the creator, the weaver, and the truth. Breathe in now all that you've seen, sensed, downloaded, and been gifted. And let the breath gently go into your cells, giving permission to receive, 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 receive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As the mists and this sacred space dissolve around you and you re-enter this moment in time, you are entering as a new light. Acknowledge the light you've become. Acknowledge the ritual you've just had with the divine. Acknowledge the path and the power you've reconnected to become mist. We give great thanks to the Lady of the Lake, to the mists and the water spirits, to the divine place and essence, to Merlin and the sacred spheres of the Akashic Ascension that we are on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I receive, I accept. I allow this to download, unfold. I trust that it is here and I am worthy of it. I look for it, I seek it, I speak it, I walk it. I am moving towards using my voice as my sword of truth. And I accept that I now walk the path as the divine. seeker on a quest of my own truth, equipped to divine any answer, any healing. And so it is. May this circle be open yet unbroken, and this wisdom of the goddess go within us, in our hearts and our minds, with every step and every breath and every touch. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Inlaket chalakin. I am another you. You are another me. You are the lady of the lake. I am the lady of the lake. You are the divine goddess. I am the divine goddess. And we are one. And we are here, united on this path of beauty. May the rainbow tribe walk again in joy and celebration through the mists. I am Akasha, honored to remember my divine path and purpose and my mission as a priestess of Athena and Avalon, as an oracle and a seer, as a teacher and a musician, as a vibrational guide, as an uplifter, and most of all, as the embodiment of the goddess, the galactic goddess of divine unconditional love and accelerated healing. Thank you for entering my sacred temple. Thank you for being one for this brief time. I bless you on your path and thank you for all you do. You are valued. You are loved. And you are always guided. All right, my loves. Well, wow, and yeah. I love to live in the flow of the divine because it's so much better than anything I can think up, and I can think up some pretty cool stuff. I like to receive and understand what's calling me and my soul and know that that is something that I'm here to share. I'm meant to share, like Jill, like Miss B. Lighter, like many of you. You're all here to share who you are in your path in some way. And perhaps you're meant to share similar to this. And I have a strange frequency moving through my face that's going like this. It's pulsing. I don't know if you can see it. It's weird. Okay. When I finally was able to see energies after so many years of hard work, challenging my beliefs and learning and seeking and learning meditation and energy work and animal communication and healing methods and mystery schools and homeopathy and vibrational medicine and sacred rituals and just the concept that there were dimensions. The world opened up in a way that I didn't believe was real. I thought it was too good to be true. And it's even better because when you rise through whatever it is you've been and now you are doing it, it's not a question like when I was walking around 38 years ago, stumbling in the dark. It is that knowing within us that is allowing us to be drawn by this very, very fast evolution, by this emergence. So become a diviner of your own destiny. Be on the quest. Watch for the symbols, signs, synchronicities. They come in your body like that. They come on pulling an oracle card. Of course, that's a divination tool. They come by walking out on your balcony and watching the leaves or the clouds, or standing in the ocean yesterday. It was so pure and still and clear, and we've had a lot of wind, so it hasn't been that way. And I dropped a table on my foot. I don't know when it was. It was whenever it was, and I went through that and took a right turn right out of that reality that it was trying to, that it could have taken me down. And I'm fine and I can walk, but there's a crescent moon shaped bruise across the top of my very deep bruising that is not much left due to my arnica and my other healing. But I felt it. I got about a half an hour down the beach and I felt it. So I stood in the water and the fish came, and these particular spotted fish came and were hanging out, just going like this in the waters next to me. And I could see all the stones and the rocks and the shells around me. And I looked up and the wind was moving. And the wind was coming from the south, so I didn't feel it much, but it was moving the lowest layer of clouds, very, very misty clouds, over me very quickly. It was easy to see them. And I was so immersed in the above and the below. I was so connected. I was standing in the waters of Gaia, and I always connect to her. And I'd connected to the mermaids and the dolphins and the spirits and everything already. But I was standing in it, and I didn't have an agenda, and I wasn't asking for anything. I was just standing there. And I became that sword of truth. It became that pillar of light. I became that wand of crystal clarity that we are designed to be. And the energies from the above and from the sun and from this mist and from the other clouds and from the sky and the akasha were pouring through me. And from the sand and the beach and the trees and the wind and the breath and the animals and the waters and deep within Gaia. And there's crystals within sand and within earth everywhere. And whether it's very, very tiny and not measurable, there's a piezoelectric effect within these crystals, within the minerals, within the land, within you. You have them in your pineal. You have them within you. And they were responding to the waves, and they were responding to the movement of the clouds. And instead of watching myself and wondering what's true for me, what's my new path, what am I here for, what does this mean, where is this, when is that, is this going to happen, is this right? I was a container to be, and I was more interested in watching the energies coming off the fish who was in the flow. We're seeing that crystal light coming up from the sand, and how it was changing depending on the wind blowing across the water or the water shifting. And then a silver fish floated over. And I see these sometimes, they're very long and thin. Long nose, long tail, long body, very thin like this. Silver, bright, shiny silver. Shiny, 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 mirror, mirror, mirror silver, okay? And they go in big groups, big schools, and you usually only see them as a reflection of the silver goddess Ray, moving through. Sometimes when we're swimming, they come by, but they don't stay near you. And so it's more like, oh, I think there's some of them there, and you see that. And this one came right up next to me and was doing the same thing as the other fish. And she was alive, and she was in the process of leaving her body. And as she was transitioning from her body, she came right near me, and she was right by my left foot, and she flowed in and out like this. And she was on her side because she could no longer right herself up. And her full, shiny silver self was just beaming. And she was like a wand of light, and she was beaming up and out. And her eye was wide open, looking straight up at me. And a tiny wave of the first reaction when I saw her coming was to move away. I don't interfere with wildlife. I don't want to get stuck. Thank you, Josie. Awesomeness. I want to respect them and I don't want to, whatever. Then I immediately went into, she's coming near me for my healing, for my energy, for what I'm doing. And then I realized she was dying. And my ex-husband, when my daughter died, he went into hospice. And so I have a lot of experience with that on many realms. And the honor of that transition, the power of that moment in a spiritual path. That fish is a being. It's a conscious living being with a spiritual path and a purpose. It came into that body with a purpose. And it came to me. I was guided to be there. And whether I understood that before or not, I simply was in the moment, accepting moment by moment what was happening. And then becoming the energy that was required. And then I became the great goddess, and I was welcoming her home. And I kept surrounding her with love. And I just kept looking at her. And we looked into each other's eyes, and her silver was bathing me. And I was embodying the goddess, and I was saying, we love you, and we welcome you, and we honor you, and we thank you for everything you did and all that you were. And I know as the Akasha that her life, whatever it was, is now in the Akasha. It is a part of the records of this planet. It is a part of records of us. And we are all one. And as insignificant as it may be to every single other person in the world, that she existed and that she lived and that she passed, she is just as much the divine goddess on her path of transformation and love as all of us. And I am so incredibly honored that I did my path and I lived through my shit and I didn't kill myself when I wanted to. And that I got up over and over, no matter how many times it was misunderstood and betrayed and lied to and stolen from. And every time that I was disowned and every time that I lost a loved one, I got up again. And it wasn't because I did it myself. It was because of all these divine guides, all these sacred spirits, all these energies, and all these parts of me that came and kept reminding me, it's time to get up. It's time. Because the divine within you has the strength to do this, whether you believe it or not. And whatever you're transitioning through, I offer this to you, that you are loved and you are held, that there is always someone there to look you in the eye, to see your brilliance, to honor your passing from one reality to another, whether you leave the body or not. And every day, probably every moment, you are dying to a part of you and being reborn. I had no idea I was going to say that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sometimes we have magical experiences and they're wonderful and you understand how powerful they were. And yet we never really fully understand the depth of what's happening in any moment. That's why I love these methods that we're going to be doing in Avalon, is bringing the divination into being able to see it with the divining rods and the dowsing rods and the pendulums and the sacred waters and the other magic we're going to do, and see the transformation within yourself. Thank you for spending this beautiful sacred moment with me. I know that you have a choice of a million, gazillion, and 2 more trillion things to do in this very moment. And whether you're here now with me or in the future, you are here. There is no time, there is no space, and our paths have crossed, and we are, like the prosperity grandmothers say, we are weaving a very new light. And that light is not made from only perfection or what we perceive as perfection. It is made from our loss and from our pain, and it is reborn from the ashes and is purified. So I'm very excited to go through my day honoring what the Lady of the Lake brought, the sword of truth, that as we do these, as we progress through this journey on our road to Avalon, I hope you'll continue to join me. I am going to have next week on Tuesday, I believe, Maria Wheatley is coming. And I cannot say enough about this woman. If you don't know who she is, she's very well known. So take a peek. We will be sharing her many times in the future, and we're already planning some retreats here in Maya land and other places, because she is a Druidic Celtic soul sister that holds a wisdom and a power and access to knowledge that I have not found in any expert out there. And I read a lot. I read the science, and I read the archaeologists, and then I read the guides, and then I read the history, and then I talk to the spirits, and then I look at the symbols, and then I start to put together the mystery, because we do not know the truth of any of our ancestors. All the stories we've been told have been altered and falsely manipulated, and we are having to come into our own truth to understand what is truth, and to our own divination methods to become the authority that gets to decide who we are and what something means. And that's you, and that's me. So this week we will be talking to Maria about the first day, which is part 1 of the Avalon event. And what that is a special day that you can come to. Of course, come to all of them. However, it's I made it a separate day because I thought this is too powerful to just keep to ourselves. And what Maria is going to do is come for the entire day. And this is the tour here. We're going to meet her in the Abbey, and we're going to have dowsing rods. You're going to have your own, or you can buy them, or you can bring them, or she will sell them, or she will have them for you to use. And why? Well, dowsing is a method of divination. It's like a pendulum. It's just a different shape. And I'm a pendulum master from way back. And what it does is it tells you clear truth, and it can point into a direction. You can say, what's the optimal place for me to sit right now at this chalice well when I come with Nan, and we're going to go in and do our sacred activation with our private group. And you take your dowsing rod with you, and you come in and you find, over here, these are the energies. Now we do that intuitively now, but why not have this? Now, on top of learning to follow ley lines or dragon lines, or see that this is a feminine line, or find a geospiral of sacred feminine water versus aquifer water or other sacred waters, or why, she's going to teach us all that. Then there's a deeper reason. What they showed me is that we're going to activate the light lines or the ley lines or the meridians within us while we're learning this with her. There's a special agreement for us to come, for her to come. This was all soul organized at some other level. Isn't it magic? For us to come together in this place. And then what we will be doing as we're learning this on the land, we will be activating those lines within us. So this is a light body activation on top of her. Now, also, she knows all the spots that are sacred within the Abbey and the stories there. Some people think King Arthur and Guinevere are married there. There's the whole Holy Grail thing. There's the Michael on the top of the Tor. There's the ley lines that wind around the Tor, the Michael and Mary lines, which is the Mary Magdalene and the Archangel Michael. So we're working with those energies, and you're going to have all of this as a skill to take with you. But this is an awakening of your intuitive skills at a whole level while you're in a land doing cool shit with all of us getting to go, wow, look at this. And she's going to take us to all the really secret, sacred spots in each of the places. Now, there's a Druidic, the Druids believe that that they were built a labyrinth. As you walk up the Tor, you can walk up a path, or you can walk up around this, and it was a pyramid shape of tiers. And many of these things are. Maria's going to take us to Silbury Hill. We're talking about that another day. We're going to talk about that in June with her, the Avebury, the part 3 thing about the lunar alignment and all that. So I'm going to stay focused. And so you're going to be able to follow these lines and see where they cross. Now, what's another important thing is manifesting. We want to manifest. We want to say, oh, I would like to, have a fit, slender body that is healthy and flexible. I would like to have a beautiful, soft, loving relationship where I'm accepted for who I am in the exploration of who I am. And I feel safe expressing that self while being also held in love and I don't know what it's called. We'll just call it love. And whatever it is you want to manifest, this is a manifesting opportunity for taking your wishes and your dreams and everything you felt and bringing it in, right? Bringing it in and saying, I'm ready to receive it. I'm ready to believe it. I'm ready to accept it. I've already noticed that the magic we're doing in my mastermind and in my sacred spirit guide circle, and be sure that you come to the Intuition Awakening Divination Camp this summer. It's online. And if you come to the retreat, you can come for 50% off. Is really drawing on a whole other level. This is taking the magic that I do and what I teach in the mystery schools, and going to Greece added a new level last year. And now this is adding another level. The Mayan is in here. The Lakota Sioux has been coming in. If you did Gaia's Crystal Cave with me, you can find that playlist here. There is when I go into her cave and I have my own journey, and you get to be there as a part of the circle, supporting and watching and witnessing. And I went to a previous life of a Sioux, and White Buffalo Calf Woman is a prophetess saying that she's here now to bring us together into unity, into the Rainbow Tribe, it was called. And so this is all what manifesting means. I've noticed that both Merlin the other day and the Lady of the Lake and the mists and all of them today, the water mist goddesses, let's call them, they're bringing us in to the world and really connecting us to that idea that we are the above and the below, that we are the channel, that we are the pillar of light. When I see a column in an ancient temple, to me, it's a pillar of light. It is connecting above and below. It is also channeling energy down, and then the structure of the temple is moving the energy around the same way that the sacred circles are, or the temples in Greece are, and it's amplifying the energies in that spot of the earth. You are a pillar of light. You are a divining rod. And when you start to allow these tools to become part of you, and keep using the other tools, but we're going to do a lot of divination. So Maria is a druid and a goddess wise woman and an amazing woman, and I'm really excited. So make sure that you join me next week. And I'm pretty sure I have an image of that here, of her somewhere. Here she is. And we will see you on Tuesday. In the meantime, please share, please tell others about our sacred circle. Let's share this information with as many people as possible, and know that what you did today has been a gift into the Akasha. That means that it is recorded now and it is available. Everything we experienced, even individually and together, is available for anyone who wakes up at any moment in their life and needs this particular truth. We were given a chalice of silver goddess light to drink from, and we were told to learn to become the mist. This is a shape-shifting transfiguration magic that you know how to do, okay? Whether you remember being Merlin or a Celtic goddess, fairy, wisdom, witch, white, whatever, or whatever, you know how to do this. You formed a body, you create every day, you created your life. You're just waking up to realize that you created it, and no one let you believe that you created it. Therefore, you didn't think you could change it, and you can. So my empowered, glowing, gorgeous goddesses, I'm seeing that silver fish just reflecting. I feel like Isabella or something. That name is flowing to me around her. So thank you for being here, for being a part of this. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everybody. Namaste. Bye-bye.